Hello everyone, I Dr. Nagalakshmi V, Professor from the Department of Physiology, will be presenting the session 2 on the Bloom's taxonomy. So the objectives of this session is, at the end of the session, we want all the participants to understand the various levels of Bloom's taxonomy for the cognitive domain and to apply the knowledge of the Bloom's taxonomy to set the questions of various levels in their respective subjects of various departments. So Bloom's taxonomy is a hierarchical framework which has been designed by Dr. Bloom, which is used mainly to set various learning objectives and also educational goals. So we the educators use this Bloom's taxonomy mainly for our lesson plan and also for the assessment to set the questions of various levels which is required to promote the deeper learning of the students. So let us start understanding what exactly Bloom's taxonomy is. At present I will be discussing mainly the Bloom's taxonomy for cognitive domain. So let us start looking at the image. You can see, look at the image that learning is not linear, it's an hierarchical process. Learning should happen in a progressive way. So this Bloom's taxonomy have defined this cognitive skills into various 6 levels starting from basic recall to the higher order level. Let us start just understanding the 6 levels. You can see at the bottommost we have the level 1, which is like remember or retention, which is like the student, if they are able to recall some information, either a fact or a concept, that is enough. So the next level, that is level 2, will be understand or comprehension, where students cannot only recall but they have to understand the entire concept. Now the next level will be apply, that is application based. Now whatever the student has gained the knowledge, they should be now able to apply that to solve any scenario, any problem in a given real life situation or a scenario. Now coming to the level 4, that is analyze, where the student should be able to break down the problem into various components and to see the relationships between them. The level 5 will be kind of evaluate, where students should be able to come to a judgment or to make decisions. Level 6, that is create or synthesis, is kind of a student should be able to now create or synthesize either a new formula or a new plan. And so as we could see that, so the learning is happening from the basic recall to the higher order thinking. So we educators should see that whenever we are setting question paper, so we should include questions which is setting to various of these 6 different levels. Now I will be now trying to explain each level with few examples which you can use to set questions of various levels in your respective department. Let us begin with the first step, that is the basic most, that is recall or remembering. So here basic recall of facts and concepts. Whenever we are setting such questions, the common verbs to be used are kind of define. For example, define hypertension, list or enumerate, name, label, recall, recognize, write, state, match. For example, state Landstein's law. So these are the common verbs that to be used to set such questions. So the level 2 is understanding or comprehension. Common verbs to be used to set such questions are describe, discuss, explain. These are the very common verbs probably we use, like describe the regulation of blood pressure, demonstrate the understanding, summarize, classify, interpret, compare, paraphrase. All these are the common verbs that can be used whenever we are setting understanding or comprehension level of questions. Now here I have given few common examples that we often use in physiology. So I have here I am giving few examples which is including both level 1 and 2 of Bloom's taxonomy. So we can see that now as per NMC guidelines 2024 and SDM University guidelines for 24-24 batch onwards, our question paper should include structured long essay question and various short notes or short essay question. So we can see that short note or short essay, I have used the verb describe, the short term regulation of blood pressure with the help of a diagram. So this is level 2. Then structured long essay question, define blood pressure, mention its various components, write its normal values. Till to here, this is level 1 of Bloom's taxonomy and we have already allocated some marks to it. Describe the short-term regulation of blood pressure with the help of diagram is level 2. So whenever we are framing a structured long essay question, often we can club both level 1 and level 2 questions for them. Let us go for the level 3, that is application based or applying. Whenever we set such kind of questions in our question papers, the common verbs that can be used are apply, use, solve, show, interpret, illustrate, calculate. Now the level 4, that is analyzing. The common verbs that can be used are analyze, classify, differentiate, compare, contrast, categorize. So there are few verbs which are common in both level 3 and level 4 which is accepted as per NMC guidelines. So here I am giving few common examples that we again use in physiology. Again, as per NMC guidelines of 2024 and SDM University guidelines for 24-25 batch onwards, our question paper should include applied questions or integration modules questions. So whenever we are designing such questions, often they fall in level 3 and level 4 of Bloom's taxonomy. So here I'll just read out the example which I am given. Mr. Kallappa is 40 years, visits physician complaining of headache and blurred vision for 3 months. Examination shows systolic BP 170 and diastolic BP 100 mmHg. He is diagnosed with hypertension. Now calculate the mean blood pressure in above individual. See, now the student should apply the knowledge of whatever they have learned from the previous classes. Only when they use that they can solve this kind of questions. What is the physiological basis for headache and blurred vision seen in hypertension? Definitely for this kind of questions, only understanding or recall cannot help. Students should apply whatever they have learnt to solve this kind of questions. Differentiate between primary and secondary hypertension. See, whenever we are designing applied questions, we can set various subset of questions and we can ask them in our question paper. This is one more example I have given for applied kind of questions. Kirtan, aged 18 years, went to the class by running for 15 minutes. His heart rate is increased to 130 from basic value of 70 beats per minute. What change could happen to his systolic and diastolic BP? Again, here to answer such questions, only recall and understanding cannot help. They have to apply whatever they have learned to solve such questions. Describe the regulatory mechanism which brings back his BP towards normal value. So, students should know what is that regulatory mechanism which is bringing back, then only they can answer. So, we can design such kind of questions, applied questions to ask them for level 3 and level 4 of Bloom's taxonomy. Now going to the level 5, that is evaluating. So whenever we are using such level of questions, the common verbs that can be used are evaluate, justify, assess, conclude, apprise, defend, judge, prioritize, predict. Level 6, that is creating or synthesizing. For undergraduate students, probably it may be a little difficult in all the subjects to go for Bloom's taxonomy level 6. But for PG students, definitely we can create such questions. But if subject expertise can decide and can also design such questions for higher order thinking questions. Now the common verbs that can be used are design, compose, propose, create, formulate, develop, design, plan, verify. So I have here again given few examples. Again, as per NMC guidelines 2024 and SDM University, our question paper includes reasoning questions. So we can definitely level 5 and level 6 of Bloom's taxonomy, we can try and fit into reasoning questions which can go for higher order thinking level kind of questions. So I have given few examples here. Justify why patient with renal artery stenosis develop secondary hypertension. So the student should not only have the knowledge of blood pressure, its regulation, and also not only application. Now they should think how the patient with renal artery stenosis can go for secondary hypertension. So this is go for level 5 of Bloom's taxonomy. So one more example I have given. Plan an immunization schedule for a 2-year-old boy who is totally unimmunized. So this kind of questions we have to set in our question papers which can fit for level 5 and 6 of Bloom's taxonomy. Thank you.